Hello, Lord Mowing people. What I'm going to talk about today is ways you can make more money by mowing lawns faster. Now, just because you work hard doesn't mean you're making good money. But if you systematically approach your jobs, you can reduce the time that you spend on jobs, and that equates to more profit. Now, I'm not talking about cutting corners here, I'm talking about slowly turning your business into a money making machine. Now, the first thing you need is a target. You can't hit a goal without a target. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to know your times. When I start working with lawn mowing businesses, this is the first question that I ask. I say, how long are lawns taking you? Are you timing your lawns? Most people say no. Uh, and then I ask them what their high paying and low paying jobs are. And they normally actually list them in the way that they go by gut feeling, and they'll list lawns that they enjoy doing as their good lawns and lawns that they don't like as their bad lawns. And this here is not actually based on fact, it's based on feeling. Sometimes if you start timing your lawns, you'll find that the lawn you enjoy doing is one of your worst paying lawns, and the lawn you don't like is one of your best paying lawns. So what you need to do is you need to time your lawns. Once you've timed your lawns, you need to keep track of those times, and you need to start getting rid of those lower paying lawns or price increase them, and you need to keep those higher paying lawns. Now the next thing is preparing your mower for maximum efficiency. Now there's a few different ways you can do that. One of them is keeping your gear in good condition. Normally on the first of the month, the first Saturday of the month, I'll spend a couple of hours just water blasting all my mowers, sharpening the blades, checking the oil, and just basically looking after the machines to make sure that they're running in the best possible condition. And if you're running a lot of machines, you might want to put timers on your machine so you can get an idea of which ones are doing the most work, and those are the ones that you pay the most attention to. Another thing is invest in a quality mower. Don't go buying a really um, horrible mower from a big box shop. Don't buy one of these tinny mowers. Get a decent mower. Even when you're starting off, spend maybe $1,000 on a mower, and make sure that it's not low range. It's a mid range mower or higher, because you need to have that kind of machine in order to be able to work effectively. If you have a cheap machine, it's going to be breaking down all the time, and it's going to be costing you. Now, the next thing is, of course, get a larger mower. If you're doing a lot of work and you're doing a lot of large lawns, you could, of course, get something like a zero turn, or you could even get, if you were going to go with a push mower, you could even go from an 18-inch to a 21-inch mower, and even that will make a difference. So a larger mower, if you're doing larger work, is always a good idea. Now, one place that I do see people losing a lot of time is when they're doing trimming and edges. So what I'd suggest is that you do it right, do it the best way. I find this is the way that I do it. I go in the opposite direction to the way the head's spinning, and this way it'll throw the grass onto the grass instead of onto your paths and driveways. This is going to make cleaning up and using a blower a lot easier. You're going to get that done quicker. And also, when I weed eat, I only cover the same area once. I'll go once around the property to the far end and then work my way back. And I follow a line, and I'll only step off the line if there's a tree that needs weed eating around, and or an object, and then I'll step straight back to where I was in the line. I find I've met people that use a method that I call the hunt and peck method, which is a bit like how a chicken will eat chicken feed, and it's a complete time drainer. If you're doing edges like this and you haven't got a systematic way of doing it, you're going to be spending a lot more on a lawn than you need to spend. Now, if you get used to working like this, you'll knock out the weed eating in no time at all. And here's a few strategies that I have for cutting lawns neatly and quickly. First, utilize a smart mowing pattern. So always mow. When I look at a lawn, it may take me one or two cuts to figure out the best way to mow that lawn, and then I'll mow the lawn like that. There are reasons that I would change that. For starters, if I was doing, let's say, a really nice lawn, and they had irrigation and it was in really good condition, I may change the direction that I'm mowing in order to keep the lawn looking really nice, and then I'd be charging more for that anyway. Another thing is that work towards your dump spot. So what I do is, when I'm towing a trailer, uh, I'll actually go out and I'll start mowing at the back of the lawn. I won't mow at the front, because if you're mowing at the back of the lawn, you're always mowing towards the trailer. So when you have your dump spot, go to the furthest point and then start working your way towards your dump spot. So you're always heading towards the dump spot rather than away from it. Another thing is limiting conversation. Now, I find this a bit tricky because I like talking, as you probably figured, but it's okay if a customer comes out and talks to you every now and then. But if they're coming out every single time that you're going around to mow the lawn, then you need to have that built into the price. So you need to either be charging more, or you need to find a way of limiting that conversation. Another thing is internet banking. We don't like cash, and we don't like cash because cash can be a pain. There's no actual record of when you've been paid, and it's like the other day I was doing a job and something happened. I think I got a phone call when I left and I forgot to pick up the money. And we only have a few cash jobs out of about 150 lawns. I think we've got about 3, and those are just elderly people that we like. So, but cash is an absolute pain. Use internet banking when possible. It's a lot easier. And another thing is to educate your customers. Tell your customers about mulching if they've got a lawn that you can mulch. And it's better for the lawn. And if they want a healthy lawn, tell them about the benefits. The lawn will be healthier, it'll be drought resistant, it'll have fewer weeds. Mulching is better for the lawn, and you'll make more money faster because you don't take any grass away. Tell the customer that it's better for the lawn, it doesn't cost any extra. When I've talked to customers about mulching, I've actually had sometimes when they've asked me whether it costs extra to have it done. And I say, hey, no, it's the same price as catching, because I know that I'll make a little bit more money on that job. So another thing is to maximize your profit through effective scheduling. So one thing that we do is we avoid preset times. So if someone wants you to be at a job at a certain time, that's just too hard to do. We don't do that. We avoid it. You might be able to do it if someone says, I work night shift, can you do a morning or an afternoon window? That might be possible, but even then, that's a bit of a pain. Another thing is to condense your round. Look for the furthest lawn away from your house. What I normally do is go through a map and actually use the Google Maps time and put as a column in your spreadsheet that you're keeping track of your lawns, how long it takes to drive there from your place. And if you're running a big round, then one thing you could do is you could actually get rid of the furthest lawn away from you. If you're running 150 lawns, you could take a lawn off your list every single week, and it would take you 3 years to get through the entire list. So it's one good way to condense your round. Another way is to plan your route. If you plan your route for minimum travel, then you're going to be optimizing your day fully. And there is free software to do that. There's a place called Route Excel. And I'll show you how that place works. Now, when you go to that site, you'll see here where you get started. Now, what I'll do is I've got a dummy lawn mowing around here that I set up just to show people different things in spreadsheets, and so I'll get started, and then what I'll do is I'll import my addresses. So I'll just take them all here, put them in, and go import, and it's going to start working out where these addresses are, and so you can see that it's starting to actually work out where all these lawns are. Great stuff. And then when it's actually got all of these lawns in the list, then what I can do is I can say, well, this is where, oh, sorry about that, that's the frog. He likes singing. So what I do is I figure out where I'm going to start, and let's say I'm going to start here. I'll do the start here, and let's say I want to finish here. Okay, that sounds good. So what we do now, we've got our start and our finish. And we go find route down here, and it's going to tell us the quickest method to get these done. And there you go. It's just planned the quickest method to get around all of these lawns. So that's basically how you can plan your day, and it's an easy thing to do, and it's just put all the addresses in order for you. You can even print this out and carry this with you. So that's one way of getting that done. And going, so you can plan your route like that. Another thing is keep communication open with your clients. Text them if you need to, because what we basically do is we text clients that have things like lock gates and dogs and things like that. We'll text them the night before with a simple text that says, hey, we're going to be around to mow your lawn tomorrow, and we'll see you then. And they know that that text is a reminder for them to unlock that gate or put that dog away or do whatever they need to do. So we don't end up turning up at the lawn and there's a car parked on it or something like that, and it takes us extra time. And the last thing is be prepared. Don't be like this guy. Always carry spares like spark plugs, weed eater caps, wheels, bearings. And if a mower breaks down, what you should do is before you take it to the shop, try doing something really simple like replacing the spark plug first, and 9 times out of 10 that'll solve your issue. You'll be back on the road and you won't have to drive off to the mower shop and watch them do that. Okay, so that's about all I've got to say today. So thanks for coming along, and get out there, mow lawns, have fun, and happy lawn mowing, people.